hockey fans. How y'all hold it up now that we are officially a quarter way through NHL season? The Carolina Hurricanes currently sit at 14-8-1. Last night they beat the Buffalo Sabres. Final score was 2-6. It was such a good game. And the Hurricanes go on to play the Winnipeg Jets tomorrow night up in Canada. I really do appreciate all of the experienced hockey fans. Like, I know there are hockey fans who have known about the sport all their lives, but I appreciate folks who, like, when I ask questions or when other like newer fans ask questions, take a moment to, in my comments here on TikTok or over on X to like answer questions. I was watching the Carolina Hurricanes play the New York Islanders last week. We lost that game in OT. I think the final score was like 4-5, but there was a commentator, because this was one of those nationally televised games on ESPN Plus, and there was a commentator by the name of Ray. At first, I didn't know his last name, but I kept hearing Ray talk about the Hartford Whalers. Like, he dropped a couple of like facts and things on the Whalers, and I asked X, I was like, who is this Ray that keeps talking about the Whalers? And Caniac Nation and hockey fans chimed in to let me know that it was Ray Ferraro, who played for both the who played for the Hartford Whalers and is now an ESPN analyst. So y'all know I'm reading the Hartford Whalers book, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm glad I'm doing it because as a new fan, I feel like it's important not only to like know like the rules and the teams, and just like how the game goes and the calls and stuff, but it seemed like at least it makes sense in my head. Like, if I'm following a team, it seemed like I should know about that team and like the history of that team. So I'm really enjoying the book. I'm about a quarter way through the book on the Hartford Whalers. The Hurricanes will be doing Whalers Night this season on February 10th, 2024. They'll be playing the New Jersey Devils. So I'm really going to try to finish this book before that game. But let me read y'all a couple of passages from the book just to give you an idea of the type of things that the book talks about. Now, one thing I didn't know going into this, like picking up this book, was like how beloved and how popular the Hartford Whalers were as an NHL team. Like, at one point, Whalers merchandise, even like fairly recently, was like some of the top selling merchandise for NHL fan gear, even though the team is no longer around. And also, like, there was a lady who had a Hartford Whalers wedding, and she had Pucky the Ice Whale walk her down the aisle. So y'all, people like the Hartford, like the people who love the Hartford Whalers, like they really love the Hartford Whalers. Like, even though they are now like defunct, no longer around, like there are people who still have like a lot of love for the team. So let's check out a few passages. For those who don't know, the Carolina Hurricanes were founded based on the Hartford Whalers. Okay, there is a shared history between the markets, even though it went largely ignored for the Hurricanes' first 2 decades in Carolina. Kevin Dineen scored the Hurricanes' first goal after also scoring the final goal in Hartford. So Kevin Dineen was a right winger, and Ron Francis played center, was captain for both teams. So he was captain for both the Whalers and the Hurricanes, and was also the general manager in Carolina. After owner Tom bought the Carolina Hurricanes, marketer Mike had an idea about incorporating the history of the Whalers. Okay, the league loved it, Foreman said. So that's Mike Foreman, marketer Mike. The league loved it. At the time, our club had been somewhat irrelevant for a while. This kind of broke through the noise that the Hurricanes were part of the national conversation for the first time in many years. The Hurricanes then reintroduced Whalers green jerseys and brass bonanza, like that's the goal song. So right now the Hurricanes have North Carolina, come on and raise up, twist your shirt off and turn around your head like a helicopter. Okay, so the Hurricanes then reintroduced Whalers green jerseys and brass bonanza when they honored their heritage with Whalers Night against the Boston Bruins on December 23rd, 2018. So just like when the Hurricanes released the throwback Whalers jerseys that they're going to be wearing for 2024, Whalers Night, when they announced their first Whalers Night, there was people who was not happy, but the book talks about how the Hurricanes acknowledged like the history of the Whalers and didn't leave beyond just like selling jerseys and having a Whalers Night. So check this out. The Hurricanes capitalized on the Whalers Night with jerseys, hats, and t-shirts sold and a boost to their national profile, but they didn't leave Connecticut out in the cold. The Hurricanes auctioned the game-worn jerseys and donated proceeds from Whalers Nights to Learn to Play initiative at Champion Skating Center, a rink in Hartford owned by former Whalers forward Bob Crawford. Y'all, I'm really enjoying this book on the Hartford Whalers. Again, I hope to finish it before the start of the new season. If you read the book or you know about the Whalers, drop a comment. I'd love to hear about it. Okay, y'all, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye, y'all.